Okay, I had to restart because I got so excited I forgot to tell you who I was. So welcome to my kitchen. My name's Janice and I'm a Thermomix consultant. I'll be talking about chili sauce. I mean, we're getting close to Christmas. I'm doing my Christmas hampers and I always put a chili sauce in the Christmas hampers. And my youngest son, his favourite is the strawberry chili sauce. Now the recipe I've got makes a big pot of it. And I assume that most people don't want a big pot of strawberry chili sauce. So I've already made this once. I did all the reductions, I did all the calculations, I've made it once. And we had it last night. I went to a barbecue and we took a plate. So I took, sweet chili, Philly, like a packet of Ritz, a tub of Philly cream cheese and a bottle of a strawberry chili sauce, and everyone absolutely loved it. And I've had it sitting on the counter for a couple of weeks now, or it would be a couple of weeks, and it hasn't gone mouldy. It's a little bit runny, but then I put a bottle in the fridge and it's thickened up nicely in the fridge to a nice pouring consistency, a nice thick consistency. So I think I'm happy to say that this recipe is, while it's not finalised, I'm happy to share it with you. Rightio. Just stop to take a photo to go on the front page of the recipe. So what I have done, and I haven't tested it yet, is like on the recipe community, you can transfer your recipes over to Cookidoo. To your favourites. So with the tomato chili sauce recipe that I did the other day, I have transferred it to Cookidoo. So we're going to have a look. So to find my created recipes, we go up into our little menu here and we want my recipes, created recipes. And so it's got to think about it. And there it is there, tomato sweet chili sauce. So this recipe is sort of the same. The ingredients are a little bit different. It's still thinking. Like the quantities are a little bit different because tomatoes have got a higher acid content than strawberries, so we need to add more vinegar to the sauce. So we're going to start cooking. So it just says enjoy cooking your own recipe creation, and it says this recipe is not an official Vorwerk recipe. Please follow the general safety instructions and carefully monitor the cooking process to avoid injury. So I've got to get my simmering basket as well, so I didn't. Okay, so it says to weigh all ingredients into the bowl, and then it's got all the ingredients listed. And then if I hit on, as well as the chop 20 seconds, speed 7. So if I tap on the scales will come up along with a list of what we are weighing. So it says 250 grams of tomato, 50 grams of chili, 600 grams of sugar, 300 grams of vinegar, 200 grams of water and a teaspoon of salt. But I've got my recipe over here, my weights, so that I am going to follow. So first up I've got a punnet of strawberries, 250 that I've washed and hulled. So we're just going to weigh that in. Now we know that it's 250, it's because it was a punnet of strawberries. So we're going to tear it. And now this recipe has 100 grams of chilies. Now where's my knife? Here it is. With the chilies, what I'm doing is I've got this here. I chop the top off it. Now these are frozen. So they're defrosted now. Chop the tail off, split it, and then just fill it out. I've got no gloves on. I've got the membrane and the seeds. And there's enough seeds left in there to add your heat. So that's 100 grams of chilies. So I don't know how many this is. Let's go in. I weighed out about 120 grams of chilies because by the time you cut the tops off and sometimes you cut them open and the seeds are a bit black looking, and so I chopped that bit off. But that's you put as many chilies in as you want. Okay. And that will do. Rightio. So that was 80 grams. About 120 grams of chilies to start with by the time I'd cut the tops off and pulled the seeds and membrane out. It was down to 80 grams. So we're going to tear that, and we want 550 grams of white vinegar. So I had that pushed up against that, which affects the scales. Okay. 500 grams of white sugar. Now I would recommend white sugar and red chilies if you want your chili sauce to come out nice and red. What did I say? I said 500 grams, didn't I? So I don't know where I was up to because my video stopped recording. So what I've just done is I've just added what do I add? I added 550 grams of vinegar, 500 grams of white sugar, and that's what I said, you need to make sure it's white sugar and red chilies, otherwise you will get the murky coloured chili sauce. You don't get the really clear, beautiful red colour. I've added 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Needs a little bit more salt because the strawberries are a bit sweeter than the tomatoes. 20 grams of garlic, and 20 grams of ginger. So this is really runny, this ginger. Okay, I didn't tear that. I tried to. Rightio. Then that's it. So, and now we're going to tap on. We've got our little blade here, and it's going to tell us. It's already set up. It's going to tell us to chop it for 20 seconds at speed 7. Rightio. And now there's an arrow over here that we're going to go to the next page, and then we move to the cooking phase. So it is cook 30 minutes at 100 degrees, speed 2.5. Place the simmering basket, which is all the way over there, so I'll grab it in a minute. I'll show you what that looks like. And it's 30 minutes at 100 degrees speed 2. So if I hit on that little blade there, it'll come up and it'll show us 30 minutes, 100 degrees, speed 2.5, and we're going to pop the simmering basket on top. Rightio, I have got a little bit of time. I'm going to go and put my iPad on the charge. I might need a new iPad. It goes flat very quickly now. And I'll be back when we're up to the next step. Okay, so when you get to the next stage in if I just touch the screen, it'll stop. The chiming will stop. When you get to the next screen, it says close the dialogue to continue. So you have to close out that and then go to the next page, and it'll give you the next set of directions. So this is how the created recipes is different to guided cooking. It's still similar, but there's a slight difference. And now we're going to cook it for a further 30 minutes at 110 degrees at speed 2.5. Then we're going to check the thickness again. So we're going to click on the blades. So once again, you've got a choice between the scales or the blades. So there's no ingredients here that need to be weighed in. So we're just going to tap on the blades and it'll come in setup. 30 minutes, 110 degrees with the shadow on the 2.5 for the speed. Rightio. We'll come back, we'll have a look, we'll see what the consistency's like. If it's not thick enough, then we can give it another 10 minutes. But I'll be back. Okay, so that's our next 30 minutes up. So it says, so now we're going to go to the next screen. And it says if the sauce is still too thin, cook for a further 10 minutes at 110. See, it is still too thin. I'll show you. I'll just grab this spatula. I'll show you. I'll scrape down the sides. And I'll show you. It does need another 10 minutes. Not that you can really see that, I mean. When you're looking at it, you can see that it's very liquidy. It hasn't got any sort of, like any sort of thickness to it. It's just like water, it's that thin, rightio. So now we're gonna go to here. And it's 10 minutes, 110 degrees at 2.5. And I'll be back with the finished product. It'll fill up 3 jars or around 3 jars. So I'll get the 3 jars ready. And I'll be back. So let's have another look. I know you can see there's that sort of coating the spatula a bit more. It's not just all running off. That's what I probably should have shown you before instead of trying to show you in the bowl. Oh. But if you want to test it, you can. Just put some on a little dish and pop it in the freezer for 10 minutes and see what it looks like, and it will once it cools you'll be able to see how thick it's going to be. Rightio, so I am going to leave this sit here for 10 minutes just to cool down a little bit. I've got to warm these bottles up anyway because I haven't warmed them up yet. And then I'll be back and I'll show you how much we got. Okay, so we just heated these up to 160 degrees in the stove to sterilise them. let them come down a little bit. Usually I'd let them come down a little bit more in temperature so that it's closer to the temperature of the chili sauce. But I want to get this bottled now. So this should make 3 bottles. Yeah, see, it's boiling in the bottle a little bit because the bottles are still a fair bit hotter than the sauce. Righto. And we'll fill these 2 up. Oops. So, like, I'm making this, like, usually I'd make it in a big batch, but I always look at, I've got 2 for gifts, and this one's for us. It's not a full bottle, but we will eat it. And I find that that's enough to keep me going in chili sauce, is just the half bottles that we get at the end. So you can adjust the heat by how many chilies you add. I would add between 50 to 100 grams of chilies, and how much of, don't add the membrane, it gives it a really, I don't know, bitter taste. If you get rid of it, if you want it a bit hotter, add a few more seeds. But try and, limit the amount of membrane you add. Rightio? I will get this recipe sorted and up on the recipe community so I can share it with you in the description box on this video. I'm also going to be having a go at the roasted red capsicum. That was a very popular one I used to make, or I still make, but yeah. That I want to get it reduced down to a 2 or 3 bottle recipe that I can cook in the Thermomix and share with you. Rightio, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, could you please give it a thumbs up, pop over to my channel and subscribe, and I really hope I'll see you next time.